Well, I think One Piece will forever be top 10 most popular anime currently going because it doesn't stop.
It needs to stop.
It's
Some
the, it's
things.
the only thing on this list that will never change. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Herbal Synergies, the shop. I'm your host, Sinji. Crickets, crickets, crickets. With me, my co-host, as always. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Irby.
What's up?
Not much, Irby, not much. What's up with you?
Same old, baby. Out here looking at the animes, enjoying the stuff. Nah, I mean,
Nice, nice. You have Crunchyroll, right?
nah, I just use Funimation still.
Oh, I was about to say, Crunchyroll put out a notification I thought was hella wild. They were like, "Oh, Crunchyroll has been updated with over 900 episodes of English dub One Piece. Started from the beginning." I was like, "No, not yet,
Definitely
not
not.
anytime soon."
Definitely wouldn't start it over.
I was started over,
I
100%.
definitely started at 420. That's when it actually starts to get better.
For you.
Yeah, that was just so slow pace. Man, whew, yeah. Yep, that's when
Actually, if you look at the timeline, which blows my fucking mind, it's actually really fast paced. The whole 1,000 episodes happens within a year, I think.
mm,
Skipping, like, not including time skips.
oh, you mean that? I'm talking about over the longevity of the life is what I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Take way too long.
Ooh.
I I probably could have had a kid. He'd be 21 years old right now.
Well, if you had him at the
Have
beginning
him
of the show,
in the
definitely.
bit, yeah. When I had him in the beginning, he would have been 21. That's too long.
That man.
Way too long.
It bees like that. Bees in
But
the
yeah,
trap.
but yeah, boy, Ash already became Pokemon master. Let's give it up for him. But all right, let's get into some flavoronies.
Ooh. Okay. All right. I'll go first. My flavor is Neo in her string work. So my girl, she used her strings to sever the fingers of a guy who was about to swing a sword at her. And in the same motion, caught the sword with the strings and then swung the sword around and beheaded, I think, the same guy. And I was just like, damn, that might have been the best thing I've seen in this show.
Yeah, and yeah, that it was. I did like how I was like, my man is floating. I was like, nah. I was like, he's standing on a wire.
Yeah, I kind of like. That was me for a split second, too. I'm like, yo, is he, nah, he's with Neo. It's probably a string.
Yeah, so yeah, he's definitely on the string.
Poor Tiger.
Yeah, he had to die for no reason, but hey, it'd be like that.
He, he found out what it was like to be a part of the equation. When you fuck around, you're
And
gonna find
found
out.
out.
But what was your flavor, or was it the string? Nah, it wasn't the string. Was it?
Nah, you know, since I don't think Revengers is getting renewed, um,
I
I'll just go
wonder
ahead.
why.
Yeah, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go with my man UA stuck that little thing in the guy's ear. You know,
Hmm.
I was like, ooh, okay. And yeah, they were just Rizo was fighting well. I like when he pulled the gun, not the gun, the knife out and said and and shanked the dude in the stomach from a distance.
Bro, I like Teppa's shot.
That was a nice one too.
Yeah, that was
Like
almost it for me. I was like, ooh.
I was like, oh man. I said he got hit and it was an errant shot. And the guy's like, I got you. And just what? So, ooh,
I
like
enjoyed the entire episode up until like the
that's why I was like, whew.
up until like the very end. The very end made me question a little bit. I'm like, this feels a
And
little
made
out of
no
place.
sense
This feels out of
whatsoever.
place. But what do you want to get into first, or do you want to just, since we're on the topic of Revengers?
No, we go ahead and say that for last and give it the last hurrah.
Alrighty,
Yeah, I'm start with some
shit, Irby, it's all you. It's literally all you. Like
yeah, no.
I can carry some conversation on Jujutsu, but like Chojin's gonna be all you.
Dang, that's crazy. That was your baby.
No, I don't even like Chojin.
Damn. Why we still reading it?
I don't freaking know, dog. I just feel like there's
Too much to give up on. Could it kind of invested? Cause it's kind of interesting at points.
yeah, it's just like they get me hooked on like the mechanics of fights and things like that, but like the space between the actual fighting is just like it's too much. It's too much build up. It was like that in the beginning. It's like that like after the first kind of like pre time skip. It was and it's shaping up to be like that now. I'm just like, bro, all this
Yeah.
talking and talking and talking and like I found myself skipping some panels. I was just like, I'm just trying to see my boy Tokyo go off. That's really all I'm really here for. I
Yeah.
just want
Me
to see
too.
him go off.
Yeah. Me too. My boy. Right. So, aristocrat, otherworldly adventure, serving gods who went too far. Debut in the royal capital. So my man Kian, he's rolling through. He's shopping with his sister, and as all male persuasions do, when you're shopping, you're just like, oh man, why am I here? And so he bugs out, and he then proceeds to see his old friend, um, Pharma. Yeah, Pharma.
I
Yeah, or
have
Parma. No, it's
no idea what her
Parma.
name is.
Yeah, no, her name is Parmesan cheese. What did I just got? She's Parma, and her uncle's Tamansi. Get it? So anyhow, what he does is he wants to make a game. At first, I was like, oh, my man should make a Go game. Nope. He decides to go with the basic one, Reverse Eye.
I don't know if I know that game.
It's pretty easy. What you do is you just like put a card down, and like if there's a tile between two of your points, you flip them all over to match yours.
Hmm.
If that makes sense, that's the simplest way I could put it.
Hmm. And all things considered, when the gods were making their requests, it a board game was not what I had in mind.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I thought they wanted like some chaos or like a fight or something.
Mm, well, I was thinking like musical notes or like something that he could build that they could just do en masse.
Mm-hmm.
That makes sense. So, so he got tasked with coming up with entertainment, reverse eye board. Then he goes to Taman C's shop, and he wants to sign up a contract so that they could put the board into production. And my man was just slinging around money. He was like, "Oh, here's a gold coin for this startup." And the guy's like, "Oh no, if you do it for this, the production cost whatever." Da da da. He's like, "Oh, here's some more," and he just like 5 gold coins, just out of nowhere, just to do what he had to do.
It didn't
Which
sound like they
he'll,
were gonna sell them for any gold coins. So it was just like, I don't know if you're gonna make a profit, my guy. The luxury ones might go for a good price, but
well, I think he was charging them like a silver coin, but like it's the cost of like making them. Because we're selling them both for like the same, I think.
hmm.
So, So yeah, so he does that, sign a contract, and the game board immediately disappears because the gods are like, "Oh, we're about to start playing this thing right meow," and and so then his debut's about to happen. He goes back to his house, and they're like, "Oh, where you been? It's about to start." And also, um, what what I also thought was funny here too was how the father was like, "Hey, be careful because some parents might try to introduce you to your daughter." He's like, "Be wary of them." And he's like, he says, "I will." He said, "I won't give them false hope." And he's like, he says, "Are you really 10?" I was like, "No, my boy's like, I think he died when he was like 16.
I think he was in high school. Yeah,
Yeah, 16. So my boy's like 26,
yeah.
technically. He's an old man. So then my boy Ken starts laying on the charm real thick, thicker than your mustache. Um, so he has a way with words, the women, and he's flattering the princesses and the nobles, and then the king ends up calling my boy a womanizer,
He did.
which,
Called him a straight
but
Moroku.
yeah, which I'm like, oh man, yeah. So womanizer. Ken then talks with Silk, and this red-haired boy, the Baron that didn't like him, his son shows up, and he starts talking to him. And meanwhile, they missed the whole fact that he said, "I'm Baron Ken," and they're like, "Oh, well, we're masters." Da, 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 da. Don't know their names. I feel like they're ancillary characters at this point. And so the redhead boy picks the fight, and then him and his friends use pitiful spells that like Ken just
Bro,
sidesteps.
I've never seen anything in anime and like been reminded so much of that one SpongeBob episode where he was trying to teach Squidward how to blow a balloon.
Bubbles, yeah.
Yeah, Bubbles. Oh my god, I was just like, what is? And then like the other guy, he did the same exact thing. Like, bruh, why is there light coming out of the kid's pelvis? Why is this show so over the top?
It do be over the top for no reason at all. And I'm just like, man, when are you gonna get a good show? I thought it was gonna be a good one, but
And it's high on the popular list of Crunchyroll.
yeah.
It's like, hold on, why are you talking? I'll bring it up.
Yeah, so it's just like one of those ones like, man, crazy. But yeah, use pitiful spells. They called him. Then they realized that he was a baron after Silk told them. Like, did y'all miss the part that he said he was a baron? And they're like, oh, we're sorry, whatever. And then they apologize to go back.
Bro, it is the sixth most popular anime out on Crunchyroll right now.
It definitely got to be popular after they got to hit a time skip or something.
Bro, we're like 4 episodes in.
Yeah,
It's Demon Slayer, Hell's Paradise. Hell's Paradise is fucking dope. Mash Magic and Muscles, which is good, but I already read it and finished it, so I might watch the anime at some point. I got a cheat skill in another world and became unrivaled in the real world too.
I
Uh,
should put that on my list to watch.
it's on my list. We might watch it. One Piece and then the Aristocrats' Otherworldly Adventure, serving gods who go too far.
So I'll take One Piece off the list.
Well, I think One Piece will forever be top 10 most popular anime currently going because it doesn't stop.
It needs to stop.
It's the only thing on this list that will never change.
Some things just need to be stopped.
Yeah, it's got like a year or two left.
Tired of watching the world burn.
Manga wise, people, a year or two left. Manga wise, don't get ahead of me. Did you watch Jobless Reincarnation?
Oh,
Oh, okay, so I can't talk to you about season two. All right, carry on.
you may. That made no difference to me, dog.
Hmm?
But yeah, so then Silk tries to blackmail Kian into a date because because she was gonna tell Telsey, and then Telsey like, oh, shows up. He's like, oh, what secrets? I want to know. And I'm like, it ain't no secret if you have to know. Like that defeats the purpose of a secret, my dear. So then he shushes Silk by placing hands over it, and Telesti's like, oh, that's unscrupulous to touch a woman's lips before something rather da da da. And then she blackmails him into a date. I'm like,
Yeah, but
okay,
like, what's wild about that is they both engaged him
yeah,
unofficially, I think, but still, he's already been conned into like marrying both of you. What more do you want from this man?
yeah. Well, I guess that part's not out for everyone. Doesn't know that part that they're supposed to get married to him.
Yeah, no, they don't.
They kept that under the wraps. But yeah, so then yeah, episode pretty much ends. Uh, the the I guess the after credits, the king and him play a game, so a reverse eye. So yeah, it's pretty much it there. Not too much substance right there. So yeah, little bit of letdown. Don't know how it's on the top 10 list.
Yo, it must get really good.
It has to be.
It
Look,
like
I'm still looking at the dude. There's a time skip in there somewhere where he grows up,
yeah,
and
I
I'm
mean,
like,
cause like
okay,
I feel like a lot of people probably played to this rule because I see it a lot, so I don't think it's coincidence I see it a lot. A lot of people, you get 3 episodes to capture someone's like interest in anime, and we're on like episode 4, and it's still like over the top and like not getting to the point.
I mean, it's interesting, but like
It
I
is,
feel
it
like
is,
this
but
would be
is
like
it?
one, yeah, this would
It
be one where I would just let it play and just watch it out type deal.
got to be. I don't know, man. It's definitely like one of those you just throw on. You know what I mean? It's like it's not like, oh, I have to watch this when the
Not
episode
at
comes
this
out.
stage, yeah.
So I am hoping next episode is something we can really sink our teeth into. What do you want to
Sink
talk
our
about
teeth
now, Irby?
into. Um, yeah, we go with Buddy Daddies. So,
Yo, that episode's uh,
heavy,
it was something else.
yeah. So,
I was
Buddy
mad at my boy
Daddies,
Kisuke.
Buddy Daddies, season 1, episode 7. After the rain comes fair weather. Um,
Why the
so
duck?
because water, weather, you know.
Oh, fair.
So Mireille, she loses her umbrella and ends up getting hit by a car, which triggers a flashback to that fateful night that Kizuki relives and doesn't let go. So, um, he's like, I hate this time of year because he doesn't say it at that point, but it's the anniversary of um, what was that woman's name? I have it written down later. Yozuko
Mm-hmm.
or Yuzuko, her
Mm.
death. Um, yeah, she died. And my boy Kizuki's, he's annoyed because they're not cleaning up. They're not putting stuff back in a proper place. He's getting angry. He got to do all the stuff by himself, and he's just angry with everybody. And so Miri Towel needs mending, and he goes looking for a sewing kit. And this is when he sees a old photo of Yuzuko. And then he asks Ray to help more, and Ray's like, "Oh, I'm giving him my all." I'm like, "Are you, buddy? You're playing Mario Kart, a Mario Kart." Mario Kart. And so then he uh he goes to shop and he sees someone from his past. Karen is what she's called. And I thought this part two was funny how his escorts were like, "Hey, come on in there."
Where you been?
Yeah. So
You know what? You know what got me upset about him this episode
what?
is that first of all, Ray does not look like he's changed one bit. Other than letting Meaty into his life, he looks like he's been the same person to live with. You're doing the same amount of work for Ray. So when is it Kisuke?
Kizuki,
Kizuki? When Kizuki
Kazuki, I think is what they call him.
or Kazuki or Blondie kicked out Ray's cat and then brought in a kid knowing that he was going to have to do all the work for the kid. How you just up and quit? It was your decision. You knew what it was. You knew how Ray was.
Yeah. It's old Raymundo.
But yeah, ran into the person he knew and the
Yeah.
escorts.
Yeah. So he basically hit out, ran away from escorts, and he goes back and cooks dinner. And they're like, I don't like tomatoes. I don't like the mushrooms. And
I've seen this scene on Instagram.
yeah. And my man just gets mad and blows that up at him. He's like, "You're gonna eat them or nothing, and you treat me like a maid." I think he said what like a freaking maid, and Mira's like, "What's a freaking maid?" Yeah,
I
I
don't
did.
think Ray
I did.
even knew the answer to that.
Yeah, he's like, "Oh, someone that cleans up," and so I think it's funny. She said, "I'm so hungry, I'm gonna die." Yeah. So the next day, Kazuki he leaves out. Just said, "I'm gonna be gone for a while." Doesn't tell him where they're going. And Mira's like, "I'm so hungry, I'm gonna die." So they eat sugary cereals for the breakfast, which I don't do that anymore because I'm an adult. I eat fibrous cereals for breakfast. So, but yeah, it's uh, Yuzuko's 5-year death anniversary. And the reason why he left was because he was partly because he was sad about her, but also because he wanted them to see that like what he did for them, so they could feel more appreciative and help out. And so then let's see, yeah. So then he bumps into some dude. And he's like, "Hey, watch it, buddy. You have to say sorry." And then he proceeds to get beat up by the old man and his friends.
That surprised me a little bit, but it might have
What?
had something to do with him being drunk.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, he can take that guy.
Well, to take on 3 people would be a little bit more difficult, which he had to do. But yeah,
True.
so I thought it was funny here, um, how Ray ordered a pizza with certain stuff, and then Miri was like, "Don't forget, Papa Kazuki sent me these vegetables," and Ray's like, "Oh,
I thought
I'll
he,
get some fries."
yeah, I thought he was gonna put the shit back on. He just ordered some fries.
Yeah, get some fries like you always get those fries.
Bro, I haven't had stock because I haven't had it in a while, and I miss eating. I haven't had McDonald's in a while. I haven't had the pizza in a while. That's how it feels, man. That's how it feels. And somehow I feel like I'm getting fatter. No, man. How do you eat better and get worse?
No, I mean I don't know. It wouldn't happen to me. But anyhow, I mean, you could not be, you could be eating healthier, but the right stuff doesn't agree with you per se. Um, that makes sense because I there's this there's you could do like a genetic testing to see what food actually like works with your body type. And so I know when I was listening to it at the time, the guy was like, yeah, like for example, he gives us green beans. Like he eat 10 pounds of he could eat green beans and lose 10 pounds, whereas someone would eat green beans and gain 5, which is I actually did like a semi test on some stuff. I'm like, oh, this stuff kind of blows me up a little bit. So I'm like, yeah. So
Uh huh.
th- that might be an issue. Um,
Maybe.
so you're eating right, but not eating the right stuff that agrees with your body chemistry. That makes sense.
Hmm.
But yeah, so then he starts talking to Karen, and she's like, "Can you stop sending me the money?" And he's like, "I'm not gonna take your money." And so she says, "You're not to blame." And he's like, "I killed her." And I'm like, "Oh, okay, that was a little harsh." But what happened in the flashback was he was chasing some guy, which I don't know is cause he might have been a police officer at one point, or he just a gun for
Maybe.
hire always. I have no idea.
Maybe it was the same occupation.
I have no idea. But but yeah, so he chased them and he stole a car, and this has got to be like one of the most freak accidents in history because she was just walking and the guy just happened to crash like into a gas oil tanker like right next to her. And I'm like, why is she standing right next to a gas oil tanker? Like, why aren't you on the sidewalk over there? Why are you in the
Plot.
middle of the street? Like, I don't understand.
Plot.
Like, if you saw a car coming out of control, why would you continue to go in that same direction?
Plot.
Yeah, I don't know. So, yeah, so then she tells him they get to talking. He's like, yeah, the memories, this and the other, and she tells him not to be a prisoner to memories. Like she would have want you to go on with this, that, and blah blah blah. And so Mary also has a fever. So Bray doesn't know what to do. He's freaking out. Then he takes her to Q, and then my man didn't even know where the hospital was. I'm like, good
Nah, he
lord.
knew where what he knew what it was. He just had no idea where it was.
And that's what I said. Didn't know. I say he didn't know where the hospital was.
Yeah, he was just like the hospital. Wait, the hospital? Where the hell is that?
Yeah.
Yo, I feel for Ray. This is why I was upset at freaking Kazuki. I was like, bro, she got a whole fever. You left her with Ray. Ray don't even know how to take care of himself. He sleeps in a bathtub.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
I what did kind of upset me though is the fact that like the man wouldn't answer the phone calls. Like, like what? You see the man called you like 3 times.
Yeah, it's an emergency. She's dying. I mean,
Yeah,
she's not dying, but like you could die from a fever.
yeah. If it's high fever, it starts melting your brain.
Oh, that's a. You have to put that image in my head, Irby. I had no idea.
Yeah, starts boiling you from the inside.
Ooh.
That's why they always say, "Oh, we gotta get the fever down, or else it could lead to brain issues."
Hmm. I guess everyone around me always stopped at the get the fever down part.
Forgot to get the fever down.
They stop at that part.
Yeah.
Never
So
mentioned brain damage.
yeah, yeah. Some with the cells and whatever. But anyhow, yeah. So then he comes back after visiting her grave. Oh, and her sister is going to art school somewhere, and so that was a little tidbit. And the place is a wreck, but Mary's good though, and he sees that Ray took care of her, took her to the hospital. So I guess he felt kind of remorseful, and then he was like, "Oh." So and let's see, yeah. And then they cook a French toast, and they're like, "It's nasty." She ate it.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, "Oh, this is disgusting." Like, I have to show y'all what to do.
Man, I feel like he should have felt a little more bad about once he realized she was sick. It's like, oh,
I think it skipped a little later, after she got better, because she didn't feel she didn't look like she felt bad, but
mm,
she looked like she felt better.
yeah. All right, shall we get into a little jujutsu?
Yeah, a little bit.
A
Just
little bit. All right, so in the recent chapter of Jujutsu, it's still Gojo versus Sukuna, in which Gojo used reversed energy to like heal his burnout and heal his wounds, and like everything Gojo did in this fight and Sukuna kind of like was destroying what everyone knew about domains and cursed energy, because like it was a lot of, are you you're not supposed to be able to do that, are you? Well, like he just did it, so who am I to question it? And it was just a lot of that.
yeah.
So like after Gojo healed himself, he opened his domain again. Actually, he taunted Sukuna to make his shrine wider, and then he opened a domain with different conditions, making the exterior harder, in which Sukuna overcame that. So then Gojo with more Scar did kind of like back and forth, and people, the Yuji and the crew talking again, being surprised. One chick said, if he loses, I'm up next. And it was like, oh, stay out of it. And then Gojo opens another domain, and this one is getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And then it just shrinks to like really tiny. And I think they're both inside. I'm not sure. I'm kind of just trying to wrap my head around the entire freaking time they explain how all this stuff works just so they can let Sukuna and Gojo break it.
I guess you could think of it this way, like, because Gojo's he has rare powers, and Sukuna has a whole bunch of cursed energies that no one's seen before.
Oh yeah, the strongest
So
ever
is
was
it
versus the current strongest.
is it really a matter of the breaking the rules, or is it you have to have a certain set of conditions to be able to do what they're doing?
Yeah, you might have to have a certain amount of power to do what they're doing.
Yeah, that's I think that's probably what it is, because typically, some people can only do one domain on top of domain or something. So, um, that could be it, or something. But yeah, or they didn't have a reason to show off those skills because there wasn't someone to push them to those limits back in those days.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, I did like that use of like the instrument overheating, where it would be able to work properly, but it wouldn't be able to function until it cooled down. So I was like, huh. And then they did something where like it was a another type of different domain that like kind of killed his cuts. And I was like, oh, no, that's definitely different.
Yeah. Did you see
Yeah,
season
so
two came out?
I did. I saw it today. I was like, oh, catch Jujutsu season two.
There you
It's
go,
like, oh,
guys. If you're looking forward to it, season two's out.
season two.
Shall we move on to Chojin?
Yeah, I'll finish wrapping up Chojin here.
I don't feel like there's much to talk about.
Oh, there's a bunch to talk about. Maybe not much you remember, but essentially,
Not
Ellie is
much I read
fighting.
either.
She's fighting the Ice Chojin, and then Tokyo shows up to save her after she gets trapped. And Tokyo has some fighting skills. He has a Mantine harp, which is the Chojin killer, which that lady used, and he's about to knock out some Iceman. And then one of my favorite lines, he was like, "Yeah, all these all this talk of about popsicles and chilled salads, it's making me hungry." But it was I think he called himself a paladin, and he somehow he got salad out of that. I don't know, crazy. And Tokyo has a wound on his foot that won't heal, and his master told him not to use rays because you only get a certain amount of those. And then there's a touching reunion, and Icy Iceman is being interrogated and he bites off his tongue. I'm like, ooh. So then they talk about the powers of the successor for the lady that gave Takio his powers. And then we meet a man by the name of Vlad Budor. He's an elder. And we find out Zandik has a brother.
Ooh.
Yeah, then we find a Tsukimoto. He's the nighttime Chojin. And he wants Tokyo for the anti-Zora task force. And Ellie and Tokyo catch up. And then we find out that Ellie, she actually can steal abilities. That's her power.
Yeah, it is.
I was like, that was crazy. Um, and then Tokyo recounts Iwato for her. Then we find out about his blubber Trojan friend and Morze Mino, Memory Trojan, and Fruger Pikram. Yeah, he's a frog. And they were going to help, but they all died in the fight that they did against one of the right hand man Balos. And let's see. Yeah, and then there's a lady from the plane. She's embalming a body and to reanimate the dead. And they activate Operation Old Market. Uh, yeah, they're trying to stop the black market opiums. And we find out that Zora's an addict. And the reason why that is important is because during the 80 Years' War, they were led by a general, President Gualeta, and he ran into trouble with the antis. Yeah, you get pain where you get like gradual weakness from the fighting every time you raise. So they say part of the raise is you have to feel the physical pain of dying in order to come back. So then he ran into a woman, was it Sarah? She stood in his way of like his opium and like she was strong. She could use divination, beastification, gravity manipulation, and she has some other stuff, iron creation and modification. She had endless abilities.
Mm-hmm.
And he tried to invade Yamato for 3 years. And he lost all senses of controlling himself, which is kind of bad. And the reason why, circling back to open, the reason why is because they would fight off opium and you feel no pain off of it. So they were just raising and killing and raising and forever. And then so um, all of it was in ruins. And then to flash back to the current moment, while they're planning the raid, Tokyo asks when the raid is in like 3 days, and he's like, "Oh, we shouldn't do this." Didn't even get explanation why, but that's in the next chapter.
No, he explained.
No, he doesn't explain until next chapter.
Oh, I that's forgot. I started reading the next chapter.
Yep.
Okay, cool. All right, guys. Revengers, episode 12. The sun always rises. All right, so we start off the episode. Teppa shoots dynamite arrows at a ship, and they warn him to get out. Boom, ship explodes. Ewan stealth kills a dude in the background, while Neo strangles the guy in the foreground by dangling him in the air, and he like chokes to death. Neo makes a comment saying there's a ton of people to kill, and Ewan replies, "It can't, it can't be helped. They can't wait. They'll have to get rough tonight because the guys are in the middle of their mission too." Raizo, Soji, and Teppa are going wild, and while Ewan and Neo are going crazy on their end as well, a tiger comes out and kills the guy that Ewan blinded. Uh, Raizo and Soji decide to both play bait while they draw in the first shot. As soon as someone shoots, Teppa goes up and aims, but sees that it was the shy kid, and the actual sniper hits him. Teppa starts falling and releases his arrow into the sky, presumably because he got shot and lost his grip. Um, Raizo Soji goes over to Teppa to like make sure he's okay. Raizo is sticking close to the redhead that was fighting Soji before, so that the sniper can't get a clear shot on him. As soon as redhead throws his weapon and like Raizo makes his move, he thinks that he has Raizo, but then Soji says think again, and like the thing hits him and kills him, and you see that his card's hidden. It's like, don't use the same trick twice, dude. So he
Yeah.
dies, and then right before, since Raizo dipped from Redhead, Sniper had a clear shot at Raizo, but then the freaking arrow came down and went through his body. That part in itself was crazy.
Yeah.
Um, Raizo goes running after Shishio or wherever he was going. I actually think he was going towards the opium. I think it was Neo and Ewan's job to handle Shishio, and Raizo was going to handle
Mm-hmm.
the opium. So Raizo is heading to where he believes the opium is, and then the priest is there. Raizo and Ewan, what's up?
Nothing.
Raizo and you and the priest start going at it, and like the priest seems to have like the upper hand at all times, even with the debut of Raizo's new move that he learned from the Chinese dude, which was very ineffective in the end.
Mm-hmm.
And Raizo is bleeding out a lot. The kid shows up, and the priest starts running away because Raizo like he let the priest stab through his chest a little bit to get him, and like dude's like, idiot. There's no point of us both dying. Neither of us will profit. And Raizo said he's not in it for the money. He's in it for the revenge. Where there's a grudge to be bent onto a coin. The Revengers will take care of it. That was like the most passion I heard about from this dude about like the Avenger crap. Usually it's just like I want to take care of this opium and then I want to die.
Yeah.
Um, so the priest dips after the shy kid shows up. Raizo really easily kind of just throws a shorter dagger. I think it's a dagger used for senpoku
Yep.
at his midsection, but he doesn't finish him off. Then he goes chasing after the priest. The priest cuts off the bridge, but Raizo doesn't slow down. He, with the spikes, very easily jumps the gap, which catches the priest off guard and slices him in two. In which, while his body is separating, the priest goes, I'm getting too old for this shit.
You ain't getting older no longer.
I was just like, I appreciated those last words. But, so Raizo finds the opium. Shishio is just capturing the depths of everyone that was trying to protect him. And then he gets into a little exchange with Ewan and Neo, where Neo distracts him long enough for Ewan to get the gold blanket over his face, where he starts suffocating. Ewan says his prayer, and my man ends up falling flat, and his head combusts.
Yeah.
And as we mentioned earlier during like the flavor talk, the poor tiger to battle the tiger, Ewan jumped backwards onto a string over a pond that happened to harbor a bunch of piranhas, and the tiger jumped straight into it and got eaten to death. Where Neo apologized and said, "Sorry to get you involved, big guy." So it's one of the few times I saw her feeling bad. Um, After it was all said and done, the chapel was like kind of commending Ewan, which I thought was weird. Like, yo, they're really just switching up like nothing. And what was a little confusing to me, it looked like the nun was like setting up to kill Pajama Guy. Like, I don't know what they were doing with the nun. Rizo grew a beard and he was painting a whole lot, but everything he painted was just his wife. It like saddened. and I thought he was moving on and ready to have a new life, but he ended up visiting the place where Ewan first found him, and that freaking shy kid that had no reason to do this stabbed him in the back, and my man turned around and smiled and accepted his death, and he just sat down and bled out, and Ewan put his wife's hairpin in his hand.
Yeah, I was like, there's no point for that dude to come back and do that.
No, not at all. It was
Like,
completely out of place. But everything before that, I enjoyed. I questioned the nun though. I was like, isn't that the nun? Why the hell she's with Pajama Cop?
yeah, I feel like they're gonna do something like yeah, I feel like she's gonna poison him for some reason, but we won't know because I don't think it's coming back.
It ain't coming back. Rise or dead.
Yeah,
Who's gonna be the main
I mean,
character? Ewan.
but revenge still happens every day.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. But
So
that was Revengers, guys. Interesting in the beginning, kind of interesting in the middle, and picked up a little in the end. Just a little
yeah,
though. It's mid tier for me.
very mid tier.
Yeah. Anything you want to
Admitted
talk
to
about, Irby?
tears. Um, no, not really. Let's see. Oh, maybe I could say something about Kirito. How my boy, they do crazy stuff in that Alization.
Yo, Alization is like nothing compared. Well, I mean, the beginning seasons are like nothing compared to Alization.
I don't
Alization gets
understand how.
wild.
Yeah, I don't understand how he fights the main woman when she was the only person that could really fight her was the other administrator, and he's going toe to toe with her like it's nothing.
It might have something to do with him being the only person that's actually real there.
That's all it has to do because I don't see it because he got whooped by her in the beginning, the machine in the beginning, and I'm just like, come on, you just can't. What is this? What are you doing?
Did you get past that fight?
Yeah, I finished the season.
Oh, my boy was a vegetable.
Um, I don't know if he yeah, well they said on the part where the people came attacked and what's her name came through. Asuna. I was like, Kirito, and then the season ends.
Yeah, my boy was a vegetable.
Yeah, they're about to kill him.
That was hard, man. That was hard to watch Kirito like that. I'm like, damn, my boy's a vegetable. Can we get past this point already?
And
He's been
then
just sitting in that chair for so long, and he
I don't
needs he needs to be able to move. Cause feel like Alice is about to have her way with him.
I don't know if he's a vegetable per se,
Nah,
but
he wasn't. But like,
cause he has an
I think he was in a state of shock.
for the what you call him, it's the time was definitely there. So he might have only been in real world for like a couple days.
Mm-hmm.
But like, man, no, it's just yeah, you just going toe to toe and um Asuna that's there. And the dude, the whole reason that why they're trying to build artificial intelligence is crazy because I'm like, why do you like part of the war is actually like putting people's lives on the line for it, which makes you double think, do you really want to go to war or are there other diplomatic means that we can exhaust before this actually happens? But the one guy's like, yeah, I lost a buddy, so I figured we could fight with AI. It's like, no, stop it. You're you're just trying to do whatever to make yourself
Mm-hmm.
feel better. But that if if it's just AI's fighting, that would just be like more wars should just happen because we just send in robots to do the fighting, which kind of reminds me of that show, the '86.
I don't know if I
That
heard of that show.
oh, it's a good show. It's well, it's good, but it's also shows the unfairness of real life stuff and people. Basically, if you have any other hair than white, you get sent to these camps, and people call these things like autonomous drones, but they're not. They're just people that got sent to these camps that have to go fight these other like fight these like machine like type stuff. And if you fight for 5 years, you get your freedom, but no one makes it past 5 years. And anytime you get close to it, they send you to the Reaper Death Squad, which has a very low rate of survival, but certain people in there survive. So yeah, I enjoyed it. I, s- I don't know if I finished it because it got me sad. I was like, oh, it's gonna be over. I can't do it. So it still lives on in my heart.
We will see. Anything else, big guy?
Was it?
Alrighty, well then let's wrap this up, guys. Hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, subscribe, share us, and we're gonna catch you next week with 2 new shows. Peace!
Peace.